Welcome to the Alchemist Way, experiment number 3, experiment number 1 of what will soon be more explorations like this, where I'm having a guest. Welcome to my dear friend, Avery.
Thanks
Hello,
for
my
having me.
friend.
Hello.
So
So
we're
I'm your
here.
I'm your first guest.
You're my first conversation. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Honored.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to have this experience with someone I trust, someone I can play and have fun with, and someone whose artistry I know and respect and love.
Hmm.
And that's you. Avery is a super talented singer songwriter, activist, soulful human, therapist, creative arts therapy. And we've been friends for not even that long, maybe a little over a year. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I think probably like a year.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I know. It's cool
So
what
here
can
we are.
happen in a year.
Yeah, we've had some opportunities to collaborate together, and we've done a show and gotten to know each other as friends and as artists. And so here we are.
Here we are.
So what's shaking? How you feeling?
It's so funny. You're like, right when the record goes on, it's gonna feel a little different. So I'm like, okay, just breathing.
Yeah.
But I feel so relaxed. My dog is sleeping next to me. I'm hearing some birds chirping and like seeing the spring buds.
Mm,
Yeah. And like
nice.
you said before, it's like we're totally in a safe space here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun to be with you.
You too. Yeah, there is something that happens when the record button goes on and the red light goes on, and
I know.
I'm always endeavoring to like see if I can just like trip that thing in the system and just
Mhm.
like, but I can still feel it happening a little bit. So one thing we're both doing is we've got our own faces covered, so we're just looking at each other. That's a good one.
Mhm.
Because it's weird to talk to someone while you're looking at yourself.
I know. It's like there's other things you can't, like on other platforms, you actually can't block your face. So I'm happy
Yeah.
that we could do that.
Yeah, well, that feels like a great just like entryway into this conversation about this culture that we have of like there's this thing that we really love doing, and there's something really innocent and pure about that. And then there's like all the stuff that comes up around like the sharing of that, whether it's like going on stage or being on social media and like playing that game. And yeah, so I'm curious, like where are you at with all of that? Like in your artist journey, on your creative heroes journey,
Oh my
where are you
God.
at with all that
I
stuff?
get so tripped up with social media. It's all
Mm,
like I've been watching you do like that like what was it? Like that 30-day challenge of like posting every day. And
mm,
it's like I would love to do some part of me would love to do something like that because it's so important to put yourself out there in the thing that we do. And there's so many people you could connect with on there and then even translate that into real life. And then another part of me just is like, I don't even like I don't even want to do that, you know? But I get
yeah.
really yeah. It's something I really I do want to do it. I want to practice it and like just start sharing more freely about my life.
Do you feel like there are parts of you that you like hide or are like afraid to share
For sure. But I think it's
that
like,
you would want to share?
yeah, there's I think we all like want to share all of us. We want to, you know,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
it's scary though too. Cause but I can be so judgmental on either side. It's like when I'm being like silly on Instagram, I'm like, "Oh, people are gonna think that's so weird and stupid that I shared that." But then when I'm serious all the time, I'm like, I need to show that I'm like also silly.
Yeah.
Like I love your silly, like your impressions.
It's so funny you said that because I remembered that before this and I was like, oh, I'm gonna introduce Avery in a Donald Trump voice.
Maybe you
um,
could sign me out like that.
but yeah, I think that's so interesting because I kind of challenge the notion that like or I question like, do I want to share all of myself? Maybe
Mm,
not. Um, but definitely like there are, I was thinking about, your silly side too, because you've shown it a few times, and I'm like, yes, more of that, and I can relate too because I can be super serious. I can present as super serious, and that's not actually how I am. If my like people who know me,
Mhm.
there's like there are a few masks, that I wear. One
Totally.
is like serious, one is like, nicer than I can be. Like I've got more edge than sometimes I show. It's like that thing where you press record and then you're like, "Hey guys," and you put the smile on and like all of that. Yeah, it actually takes us further away from the place that feels good to share from because it's just less honest. So, okay, so I'm hearing more
Totally.
silly. What else? Like,
But this is where I get tripped up. I'm like, do like even just what you said that like, do I want to share all of myself? Like, I think I would love people to just like know me or like, because you
yeah,
are curating yourself no matter what, whether you're in person actually or on social media in a way.
yeah,
Obviously in person you have that energy feeling,
yeah.
but it's like, yeah, I can be silly. I can also be like a huge bee. And I was like, I don't know if you can swear on a podcast.
You can, but
Okay, could be a
yeah,
bit.
this isn't a real podcast anyway, so you
Yeah.
can do whatever the heck you want.
True, true. Yeah, I can be so many different things. I can be depressed. I can be really excited and like feel like I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I guess like I don't know how to look at social media sometimes because it's like on a stage there is an element of performance which feels actually so pure and authentic,
Mm.
but isn't all of you. It's not the part of me that like sits on the couch and watches TV, you know?
All right. So that kind of leads me to the next question, which is like when we're talking about your artistry, or, who shows up to a concert, an Avery Florence concert,
Mhm.
or a workshop that you're going to offer. Do you feel like that same dynamic is present, or do you have more access to more of you in those spaces? Because I think social media is an inherently unnatural thing, and so it makes sense that we would be like, how do you do this like authentically and in a way that feels like not awkward and icky? It's like
Yeah,
it's not really that obvious when you're like self-recording and like talking into a phone. But when you're in a room with people sharing your art, maybe like that's more accessible.
right.
So yeah, what's that like for
I'm
you?
just noticing it's like I feel like I used to have so much stage anxiety and like still
Hmm.
sometimes I do for sure. I get those nerves and I like it too, but like
Yeah.
sometimes it has been so much that even the show is not enjoyable because you can get it's a whole practice performing.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
I feel like social media is like next level. Like now I'm like, oh, being on stage is like easy for me, I feel like compared to social media.
Yeah. And that's yeah, that's probably as it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are some of the things because I can relate to I used to have debilitating stage fright and I had to like learn some real powerful hacks to transform that. And you said you like it.
Hmm.
You actually like it.
I feel like
You
I've
learned
trained
to
my mind to like be like, it's a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is how do you do that? How do you do that?
Yeah, no, I'm like, "How do you do that?"
I'll tell you, but you go
How do I
first.
do that? Um, I don't even know how I do that. I guess, like, I say it out loud sometimes. I'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm excited," and, like, I just tap into, like, this is why I care about this, and, like, letting my energy come through,
Mm.
and, like, being, like, prepared for the whatever I'm doing. So, like, starting off with, like, a song that I'm really comfortable with,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know? I feel like I
Yeah.
used to always be like, "I just wrote this song a minute ago, and I'm gonna play it." It's like, that's never a good idea.
Right.
But maybe later
Totally.
in the show when you've already, like, connected with everyone and you've landed, then you could
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, so preparation,
Yeah.
like, just letting the energy move, I'm hearing, and, like, that's a big one, that's been a big one for me is, like, nothing is wrong just because you're feeling all this energy, it's actually again, it's natural. Your
Mhm.
body's generating the fuel for the thing you're about to go do. That was one of the biggest reframes that I got from one of my mentors that was like, "It's rocket fuel. That energy, that aliveness is your body preparing to go do a thing." It's the mind that says something's wrong or that, like, says, "Oh, you're gonna mess up," that causes us to then resist that sensation and try to make it go away. And that doesn't work at all. Trying to like breathe it away or cut off from it or say an affirmation over top.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So you
that
let it
definitely
come through.
let it come through. Yeah, just welcome it. And yeah, so you said preparation, let the energy
But the number one
move,
actually is preparation.
and then also titration, like building up to the bigger moment, like knowing that the bigger risk or the thing that you're less comfortable doing, you're going to need to be more present and available for. So, not going right out the gate into the thing that's like the scariest. I also used to not have that understanding, and I used to take like bite off way more than I could chew. And
Do you
I like
still?
would, no, what I do now is I live at the edge. So I like to play at the edge. I like to like to take risks, but I take like calculated risks, and I'm like I learn to walk the sort of razor's edge of this is at my edge enough that it feels exciting and juicy, but not so far over the edge that I'm like if in fight or flight.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Would you say that's like translated to the rest of your life?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a definite like a just way of navigating difficult conversations of like taking just taking risks in relationship
Hmm.
to my my anyone in my life. Yeah, it's all an energy game.
Hmm.
It's a game of like sensing the energy of an expanded version of myself that corresponds to an action that's outside of my norm or my comfort zone, and starting to learn like how big of a risk is too big and how much of not taking a risk equates to stagnation and complacency, and finding that happy medium, and
Hmm.
also being willing to not get it right, and get it and mess up, like our experiment today where we
Right.
were like, this may not work and it's okay, like if
Yeah.
worst comes to worst, we're just gonna hang out and all these
You gotta
different
you
things
gotta
show
like
up.
go into it for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely gotten better at that too. Of just like feeling into my body of like, oh, this is gonna be because there's so many different opportunities. But then also it's like sometimes it isn't gonna be good and you are gonna
Yeah.
drive 4 hours to a show or like end up playing in like a this happened to me a few months ago, like a freaking sports bar where there was a huge
Mm.
hockey game playing behind me, even though it was supposed to be
Mm.
like this like festival. But then you have to make the best of that
Yeah.
too. But definitely getting better at like calculated risks.
Yeah, I've experienced you in that space because when we did, we've collaborated a few times. We played a show together. We've co-facilitated a workshop, and I felt your similar like wanting like your spirit of adventure to like let's go somewhere,
Hmm.
and also like not being so like rogue that it was like where is she like I can't trust this person. She's gonna throw me to the wolves kind of thing.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, I think that's something you carry as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well,
My
I
dog
have
is staring at me right now.
oh, that's cool. My dog's in the building, and I'm sure there may come a point where he makes an appearance.
Yeah, we just went for like a big run. I don't know why he's coming up to me.
He's feeling the vibes.
What are you
Well,
waiting for?
dogs are welcome here.
Good.
I was gonna ask, so there's two like questions that I'm really curious to ask.
Cool.
I'm curious, what are you currently creating, navigating? Like,
Mm,
what's really alive for you in your artistry, in your
mm.
the season of your creative journey?
That's a great question. What's really alive for me? Hmm. There's a lot alive for me. Definitely one aspect is actually finishing certain projects because I
Mm,
feel like I've been sitting on years of material, like 2 albums worth.
wow.
So, yeah, and I think it's so important to finish them.
Yeah.
So that's like my goal this year is to actually finish those 2 albums, and it actually I'm like on a pretty good trajectory with it.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's actually thank you for even asking because I'm like, it's good to acknowledge it because 'cause I'm like, "Whoa, it's already like almost May." Like this does need to start to happen. Um, the other thing is like sort of honing in on like my live offerings,
Mm.
like music in a more ceremonial place
Mhm.
and like actually accepting that as not as like not less than, doing music in more of like traditional venues,
Yeah.
but like playing my
I
music.
understand that.
Yeah. Like playing music in my like somatic class that I run, or like in my art therapy groups. Like I'm like improving, and that feels really alive, and like, and it feels like also the doors that are opening. So I'm like, okay,
I love that.
yeah,
Why, where does the idea that that's something lesser than come from for you?
it's funny. I think about it all the time, and I haven't even thought about that. Where does the lesser than come from? Maybe, yeah. I'm curious what you would say to that.
My sense is like, is it that there's just some like known version or some image you have of what it's supposed to look like, and there's no real reference point for that thing that you're sensing is more authentic and aligned for you, and so that's my best way of understanding what you're saying based on my experience, which is that for the longest time I had these inspirations and images of what I wanted to achieve that were based on the artist that I loved coming up as a musician, let's say. And there none of them were like coaches or facilitators who were also offering more like intentional process-based experiences for their attendees. And I always had this feeling of like, well, like leading with that or revealing too much of that undermines my credibility as an artist. Like
Definitely.
a true artist is just an artist, doesn't have any of that like woo woo, coachy, preachy. And of course, like, that's a thing. There is a line where it's like if it gets too coachy or preachy, maybe it is less appealing or appetizing. But I've come to the realization that my unique blend is what actually makes me who I am and what I'm like, that the niche is you, that the niche where
Hmm,
we have
I
it's
love
like a
that.
niche of one. These are borrowed phrases from some other wonderful thought leaders that I've come across that share this concept of like the best place where we can invite people into is all the things that we love,
Right.
you know?
Which is coming back to the like social media thing of like what to share with yourself. It's like, and someone said this to me recently, like when I was telling them about the different things I do, like the somatic practices and the group. And I was talking to another artist who I really admire and like see as like a full-time artist. And
Hmm.
she was like, well, I'd love to hear more about that. Like that sounds
Yeah,
so cool. And it's like you're just so used to, we're all just so used to our life that it's like, but I love when people are showing that. I do love when people are showing the very like real little things of them, like their
totally.
cat, or them like going to pick up shawarma for their kids. Like,
And
those
those
are interesting.
those things about you that maybe you take for granted or that you have some judgment about, like are probably some of the things that make it so special what you're going to offer.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes
Yeah,
it's hard for us to see that ourselves.
for sure. It's for sure it's like a stuck on like what I thought it would look like being an artist,
Yeah.
like what I thought
Yeah.
success looks like as an artist,
Yeah.
and I still part of me still holds that. But it's like, and yeah, part of me holds that for like in a real way too. It's like I would love to play more shows with like a more full band because I
Mhm.
love like rocking out, and I love
Mhm.
playing to like an audience that is excited, like at a music festival. So those are still where I don't have to like produce the whole show, and it's like I arrive and a crowd is ready to receive, and like because I love being in that artist. I love being in my artist identity. Um, like it does feel very pure to be on stage, and it feels like the best of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something
Yeah.
to it of like performing that's like, I guess the stage is like permission to be, even though you are, performing, it's like it's permission to also be your full self, because it's not like it's like, oh, there's an artist, of course they're bearing their heart and
Yeah.
in process about thinking about the world.
Yeah, the thread that like feels very alive in this conversation from the concept of what happens when we hit record and what happens when we step into this container versus that container
Yeah.
is like, how can we create the container, the context, or give ourselves the permission we need in whatever scenario it is so that we can always show up in a way that feels true, in a way that feels alive and honest and fulfilling. And it may not always be the exact same, like who you be at a wedding and who you be at a funeral may be different, but like that there's still some through line of like, no, this is me being true to the moment, and I'm not. There's no mask and there's no pretense, and I have access to my humor, my silliness, my sexiness, my like all that, and I can let those things flow into the transmission
Right.
without self-censoring in a way that's like distorted.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah. Well,
that's what we're kind of
yeah.
circling around here.
Totally. And I don't have the answers to it because it's like there is obviously the element of knowing other people are watching. It's like if me and you were just on the phone, it's almost like easier to be totally present and listen
Totally.
and respond and like and pause maybe more too. But it's like
Yeah.
when you know something is also going to include other people, there is like that element of like those little thoughts like, is this interesting for people or is this helpful for people?
Yeah. 100%.
But that feels different than like what we're doing right now than it does like being on a stage too.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
though people are for sure watching when you're on a stage.
say more.
Like when you're on a stage, there's that element of like perform. Like this is sort of like in the world of like two friends hanging out, about to eat a cookie that I've been waiting for. And my almond milk here too.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're
I
going to
went all
get there
out.
in a sec.
It's like just two friends like hanging out and like allowing other people, and same with social media, like allowing people to see into your
Yes.
world. That's not performance. But like if you're on stage, there is it's different because
Yeah.
everyone's almost like agreeing to,
Yeah.
like when people are watching you on social media, it's like you haven't totally agreed. You have let them in, but like, I don't know.
It's a different agreement. I think
It's
that's
a
a
different
really great
agreement.
way to say it. Like when someone comes to a show or you're on a stage, there's a different agreement, whether it's spoken or unspoken.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, all of that is just distinction that can be inputted into this like inquiry of like, okay, but as the person showing up in these different spaces, how do I set myself up to be the least impacted by that factor and have the most access to like true me, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like you were saying, it's something that you have to practice. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that you can only get by doing it. So maybe if we did this 10 times on time 10, hopefully it'll feel like, yeah, like we are just on the phone.
Right.
No one's
But
even
like who are the people, or like what are qualities you see in people that you really like admire the way that they share themselves on like non-podcasts or like social media?
for me, it's always just who's the most free. That there's a freedom, which is just freedom to be themselves, or freedom to be wacky or wild, but that's because that's part of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that's the target for me is like freedom.
You've done an inquiry on this. This is like that's such a great answer. It's true. It's like just freedom.
Yeah,
Like
but I've been having this conversation for like over a decade. Like I'm thinking about, and it's so funny because it ties back into chocolate chip cookies. My friend Brian McMillan, do you know Brian?
I don't think so. Brian
He's a
McMillan.
wonderful singer-songwriter from Toronto, and he was part of this collective that I was in called Grassroots, which I've referenced because what we've been doing reminds me of the sort
Cool.
of new iteration
Favorite
of
band
that.
ever.
And we used to have jams and eat cookies and talk about like who we loved, who was doing that thing. That was like what like just that was the thing we were searching for in our showing up on stages was like how
Mm-hmm.
can we just get free? How can we lose that self-consciousness that causes us to feel inhibited or to causes us to like get shaky or our voice to crack or our hands to get a little tight. And I
Love
think
that.
the answer definitely is repetitions is a huge hack. And then that thing we were talking about like that razor's edge of taking risks, but not going so far that it's like overwhelming the system,
Mm-hmm.
but constantly just finding that next step out of the comfort into the expanded version of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I almost like want to like wake up with that question every day. How can I be
Yeah.
the most free?
Yeah. Well, and the current version of that in this season of my life that's kind of giving me access to that is just what's going to be the most enjoyable thing for me to create, you know? That's where all of this is coming from, which all of this really does signal that it is time for us to engage in the ritual that I have started this whole series of experiments with, which is to have a chocolate chip cookie. So unfortunately, I could not provide you with a chocolate chip cookie because we're in different locations. So you got your own. Is that what you have? Is it a
Yeah,
chocolate
I
chip
didn't
cookie?
bake it. I got a chocolate chip with sea salt.
Ooh,
Yeah,
well, I also am having a chocolate chip cookie with sea
amazing.
salt. I made these myself. They're
Which is
gluten free.
impressive.
It's a
Actually, it
it's a it's a recipe that my wife sourced and taught me how to replicate, but I became obsessed with these cookies to the point that I needed to be able to make them when she wasn't around. And so here we are.
I'm so
So all right.
excited.
And so you have some almond milk.
I have some oat milk. Yeah, oat
Ooh,
milk.
okay. I have tea.
Nice.
So we're just gonna have a little cookie
I
moment,
just
little
want to
bite of
just
our
want to say I
cookies.
don't eat cookies that much, and I love cookies. I just don't eat them that much, so I'm really excited.
And it's important to say like this is the ultimate expression of just me doing what's in my joy, and I get to share that with a friend, and we're just gonna eat a chocolate chip cookie, and then that's gonna probably change the vibe a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's do another pod. Like, let's have a whole other conversation after the cookie.
sure. We're going to. Okay, so I'm
Okay,
just gonna have a bite.
me too.
Go ahead.
It was good.
Do you have a chocolate chip cookie dance that you do?
Yeah,
Is that your first try of that particular kind of
it
cookie?
is.
Oh, and
It's really good. It's worth it.
yeah, my dreams are coming true. This is gonna be
It's
the
actually
whole
like for your next guest. I think it is important to have the cookie right in the beginning because
yeah, yeah.
I feel so good now.
You know what? I had the thought and I was like, should I save it? Should we wait? All right, taking notes.
Like the freedom that just gave me to eat this cookie.
It's a real thing, right? Yeah, it really is. It really is a thing. I think there's something to it.
I love it.
It's a code, the chocolate chip cookie code.
You've given me a lot of food for thought here. Like
Likewise.
that pun was intended, but like, yeah, what is enjoyable? Because when you asked about the artistry and that open door thing, it's like it's more enjoyable when things are flowing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm paying attention to that. And on the flip side, it's like it's not that fun to finish an album. There are elements, but that can be a bit more of like a need to push.
Yeah.
But then it's like, yeah, finding ways to make that more enjoyable too.
Well, I'm glad you came back to that because I think it was important to just close that loop by just naming that. I think, you're naming something that's very real, which is if we have all these open loops and we don't finish, it kind of like has a way of backing up the pipes. And it's not just finishing, it's like publishing. Some, not all of it, not everything we create has to be shared, and not every idea that we start has to be finished. But I think we have to like wipe the slate clean one way or another and go, okay, this is in the like I'm not finishing that pile because it was just an idea and it doesn't need to get finished. This is in the I need to finish it and publish it pile so that clears the way for the next, round of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's valuable. And so are you starting to feel like are you really in the like focus on the finishing, or is there some new are there
Thing.
so there is new too. You're having new inspiration, new ideas, or like new creations coming through?
Have a few. Well, I feel like the new creations is like the live in the healing space.
Yeah, yeah,
I've been doing
yeah,
that for a while, but like that feels actually new, but like content wise. Yeah, I feel like I am more in like the close the loop. I
yeah.
have written a new song
Oh,
and I
you have?
actually jam. I have written a new song. Yeah,
Oh,
the first one in like a long time, but I love it. And I actually sang it with like I have a jam crew that I get together with once a month.
oh, that's nice.
And
Yeah,
like I think there's one other guy who's like a professional, I don't know why I say it like that, but a professional musician.
you're also a professional
I am
musician.
I know, I really am. But everyone else is just like musical and like silly and it's like the best time. I actually might record this song with that crew and like do it
Nice.
in the living room and like just set up recording equipment.
Yeah.
And this again comes back to, I feel like we're on so many threads, but like that comes back to like not needing to do it like a certain way with like other professional musicians. Like this crew, there's something alive in this crew, and it's like I don't
Yeah.
want to deny that. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. I think sometimes, I'm learning this from some of the conversations I've been having with artists that I'm super inspired by and who I look up to, that like sometimes choosing to have something be less polished is a creative choice, like that the song calls for, that you don't
mhm,
want it to be perfectly quantized and in time, or you don't want it to sound like it was recorded in a studio. Like you're going for a little bit more of that raw essence. And I think that has character and that has vibe and that has value
mhm.
depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to hear a little bit of your song. Are you up for sharing a little bit of it, or?
I tuned up my banjo.
Oh,
I thought maybe you'd ask me to sing it.
yeah, and plus, like, there's nothing better than doing something creative right after you had a bit of chocolate chip cookie
Nothing better.
to, like, power up.
I love it.
You can play as much or as little of it as you like. I'll
Okay.
take what I can
Maybe
get here.
I'll play like the first verse and chorus.
Sure.
Banjos get out of tune so quickly.
I feel
There
like
it
I
is.
have a similar relationship with with banjos as I do with cats. Like, I
What's your relationship with cats?
I don't really get them, like I don't really fully. Like I'm curious about them, but
But do they give
they're
you
kind
like
of.
allergies?
No, they're just a bit of a mystery to me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I feel that way with cats too, but I
Yeah.
also kind of feel a little scared of them sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
want to be,
That was a very strange analogy, but
but you're not
this
scared of
is,
the banjo. You're just curious about it.
yeah, curious, and like I don't really get it as much. Like I feel like it's a bit of a foreign concept sonically to me, but like I've gotten to know it through our collaborations a little bit. Yeah, maybe I am a little scared of it.
Okay, the sound or like
Just like no, just like what it's supposed to be doing.
I kind of know what you mean.
Yeah.
I think it can do a lot of different things. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely don't play it like a banjo player.
Yeah, you don't. You don't. That's so true.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have anything to be scared about.
Well, no, I'm excited actually. I just get to
Yay.
hear. I have to say before you start singing this, like I instantly fell in love with your voice. You know this.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, just the thought that I get to hear you sing right now is like, I feel like that's a real treat. I remember our friend, mutual friend Ellie, shout out Ellie, who introduced us. And he was like, I think you guys should get to know each other. Like you're pulling on similar strings, heartstrings with your
So
music
true.
making. And I knew you had a show, and I was like reluctant to leave the house on that particular night. And my wife was just like, go, you should go. And I went. And as soon as I got there, I was like, and I heard you singing your song, I was just like, oh, I totally understood why Ellie connected us. I just like fell in love with your voice and your music making, and just felt like there was this sense of like recognition. Like I was like, I know this person.
I've felt that since we've met. And
Yeah.
obviously as we've gotten closer, but like, yeah.
Yeah. And I had a vision of us singing one of your songs together, and it came to life. So that was pretty cool.
I know. And I'm excited for what we could do in the next year.
Yeah.
You
We're
know,
gonna do some stuff.
I'm
We're doing
excited.
something right now.
We're doing something right now.
This is a thing.
This is a thing. Totally is a thing.
All right.
I don't have a name for the song yet. The working title, but it's not because it's cheesy, is like Game of Trust. It's a little cheesy though. But the song is good.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna start here. I've been terrified to begin. Want a life worth living. In the back, there's a house I know. Feed the flame of the fire I grow. 'Cause love is like an answer that comes blowing in the wind. One day you'll wake up and you'll be dreaming. 'Cause love is like an answer that comes blowing in the wind. Deep inside the dark, we're still believing, and it's a game of trust to fall in love, and don't give up and don't get lost. That's the beginning.
Oh man, so beautiful. Can't
Thank
wait to
you.
hear the rest of that. That
Thank
was,
you. It goes places.
yeah. Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, it goes places for sure.
yeah, that was stunning.
Thank
You
you.
had me right from the first lyric.
Cool.
It feels so connected to what we've been talking about too, in a way. Or maybe that's just how I'm
No,
hearing it.
totally. Well, the first lyric is I've been terrified to begin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that's just such a powerful opening line. Like you're just like, I'm in. Okay. Where are we going? Yeah,
Cool.
beautiful. Thanks for
Thanks, Chris.
sharing. I love
Thanks
it.
for asking me to.
Yeah.
Cookie and music.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I just can't wait to hear the rest.
Cool. Well, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Well, I'm conscious of time and here we are. So, any closing thoughts, closing sentiments?
Closing sentiments. Um, Not that like come to me, I guess, like the letting go. And I just feel like this is an ongoing conversation, and it
It
really
is.
gave me like a lot of real things to digest. It's like what
Hmm.
is holding us back? It's like be free. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Hmm. What about me? I'm still just kind of blissing from having heard you just sing your beautiful song. I think there's so much power in just that. Like, we spent all this time talking about the thing, and I love talking about the thing.
Mhm.
And then there's just the thing, and the thing is so magical and it's transcendent.
It
And it's
is.
like chocolate chip cookies and a song. Like, maybe that's the whole fucking conversation right there, you
Yeah,
know, like the whole transmission. But I value all of it. So, yeah, I have so much compassion and tenderness for the like little parts of us, the little ones we talked about, like the inner child that like have to build up the courage to do the thing that we're here to do in the world.
yeah.
And I think it's so valuable having these kinds of friendships, you know, and I'm so grateful for our friendship and the conversations that we get to have ongoingly
Me
because it
too.
supports us in taking bigger risks and showing up ever more courageous. And then there's also just a reminder of like, it's all just play and we can just throw caution to the wind and not have to get it perfect and trust that that's good
Just
enough, you know?
yeah. And it's so and I see you like putting yourself out there in different places, and like it is inspiring. So thank you for
Likewise,
inviting me to
likewise.
do it. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I saw you like rocking your banjo in front of a school of kids, like with our friend Tal playing the bass. And I was like, what? It's like, this is such a vibe, you know? Like, that's a different look, it's a different space. And it takes something to like just say yes to that. So,
Totally.
yeah, I guess that's really it. That's what we're walking in real time, and we're gonna keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
And more chocolate chip cookies.
Don't give up. Fall in love, and if you're lost, just don't give up.
All right, my friends. Thanks for tuning in if you're listening to
Thank you for
this.
having me.
And
My
thank you,
pleasure.
Avery. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And we'll talk soon, my friend. Much love. Peace and blessings.